to get this video out here because I see a lot of businesses struggle sometimes with their brand and their colors and their overall like aesthetic. And I wanted to create this video so that when you're ready to start working on your brand, on your branding, your actual logo, your theme, your color selection, your font selection, you have a really good understanding of all of the different steps that go into choosing the right colors and also the right fonts. But in this video, we're just going to talk about brand colors. So the first thing you want to do is find out a lot about psychological impact of brand colors. So as you might be aware, different colors have different meanings. And I don't want to go too deep into this, but I do want to explain that, you know, the colors that we see on different brands that are represented in our current, in the current market will evoke certain feelings. And there's probably 1,000 different color wheels out there that you can look at. But if you were ready to, you know, let's say you wanted to know more about chili pepper, you know, what this color means, you know, there's a great resource. I'm going to link it below. It's the Canva color wheel. I also have another one, and that one is the Adobe color wheel. The Adobe color wheel goes a little bit deeper into the trends and what's available. But for now, I don't want to overcomplicate this because you can spend hours and hours and maybe even days and days and weeks on, you know, researching the perfect color and the perfect shade and the hue, and whether it's monochromatic or analogous, or you can go on and on for hours. And I don't want to take too much time. What I would like you to do, just to really hone it down, make it super simple and easy, is think about the emotions that you want your audience to have when they come to your brand. Do you want them to be excited? Do you want them to feel inspired? You know, write these down. Write down these different feelings and emotions that you want to get from your audience. And when you're doing that, think about, like, is there certain emotions that they want them to believe about your brand? So if you are Facebook, for example, you know, the color blue represents a lot of trust and let's go back to blue. Let's see if we can find the Facebook blue. But yeah, so the color blue, you know, if we go back and read about blue, what is the meaning of blue? What, you know, all the different shades and complementary shades. Blue tends to evoke a lot of trust, and it becomes a very good brand for both men and women, but mainly for men. It's a very popular color in branding. You'll see it almost everywhere. You know, boxes and, you know, different brands use blue, but what they're doing is they're trying to evoke a trust and they're trying to evoke a theme of trust and loyalty, and they're trying to evoke a theme of or a feeling of you know, basically loyalty. They want you to be loyal to their brand. So that's why you'll see blue a lot in a lot of places. Red evokes different feelings as well. And I'm going to link to some other videos that will go into like the different color wheel, like the color wheel and what the feelings are that they evoke, so that we don't spend too much time, because this video is specifically honing in on, you know, how you select your brand colors. So the first thing I want you to do is take out a Google Doc and type up some of the feelings you want your audience to feel. Do you want them to feel confident? Do you want them to feel secure? Do you want them to feel brave? Do you want them to feel trusted, or do you want to be trusted from them? So do you want to be, just go through that exercise and then go back to that color wheel that I'm linking, and then you'll be able to see exactly how they map together. Next step you would like to do, I need you to do, is I will need you to research your competitors. Go to another wedding or industry brand that you're well aware of and find out what they are using to evoke these same feelings. So let's just go to the knot.com. And as you can see, you know, they have the heavy magenta, the burgundy, you know, this nice cyan, red, beautiful, like navy. They're evoking, this used to not be their brand. The Knot has transitioned into a new, they're trying to evoke new colors and trends that they're seeing in the marketplace. The Knot back in the day used to be very soft, whimsical blue, very, you know, pastel. And now we're seeing these colors that are very deep and rich. And actually, they're very trending right now. These bold colors, these bold magentas, these bold navies, these bold orangey reds. We're starting to see that everywhere. So, think about that when it comes to your brand. I know a lot of the wedding industry and a lot of the interior design industry, we tend to kind of go into the softer palettes, but we need to stay consistent with what's happening in the marketplace and in the trends. I personally want to give you another tip that I do is I like to go to Sherwin-Williams, and I like to see, what their color of the year is. I like to always know what the color of the year is. I like to always see, the color tools that they're using for the design side of my business. So what we do here is we get inspired. I like to also pay attention to what people are wearing, So those are just 3 top ideas. Look at your research, look at your competitors, take a look at the colors of, the brands and the businesses that you use already. And then take a look at the colors of, just the Sherwin-Williams, go to Benjamin Moore, go to Valspar, and check out what their color, how they help in the industry with color. They have a lot of color palettes that they can give you, and I'll link everything below. I can't get into their color wheel right now, but yeah. So if you go into color, here we go, color of the year, color tools. So this is great. And you'll be able to really find out what inspires your audience as well as you and what emotions you want to evoke. That's the key when you're looking at colors, is what inspires them and what feelings you want to evoke with them. And that is the combination of the two is how you choose your colors. And once you have some ideas, once you have some of those feelings written out, go ahead and start playing around with the colors. You're going to want at least no less than 4 colors and no more than 6. If you're starting to get into 6 and 7 colors for your website and for your brand and for everything, you've really gone overboard. So really hone it into, 3 to 4 colors, and then, no more than 6. If you're in the 6, 7 range, even 6 is a lot, but try to stick with the 3 to 4, maybe 5 max, but 6 is the absolute maximum I would choose. And then from there, you're going to start, pinpointing the colors that do reflect the brand identity that you want to create for your brand. And then once you have that, here's another tip I'd like you to see. What I like to do is once I have those feelings, let's say my feeling is freedom. I want people to feel free. I want them to, feel excited and free. So these are different pictures that I will go and look at and kind of take a look at the colors that are being used in the pictures. And then I may even download the picture. Maybe it's a feeling of peacefulness that I want to evoke. So you see these colors are very muted, very soft, very not, maybe this one's a little bold, but what I'll do is I will actually download the picture, and let me just show you this example. So let's say this is the feeling of peace. I'm going to download this picture, and we're going to download it to my desktop, and I'm just going to call it peace, and we're going to save that. And then what we're going to do is we are going to open up the color wheel in Adobe. If you don't have Adobe, if you don't pay for Adobe, it may not let you do this, but I think Canva will. So what we'll do is let's just go into Adobe, and we're going to extract it. So what you'll do is let me just move this out of the way. We'll place this picture in here. And so what Adobe does is it takes the picture and it will actually, extract colors right out of the image. So if you already have photos and, pictures that you want to use for your website, for your brand, and, you want to hone it down to maybe 1 or 2 pictures that you're looking at for your brand, this is a great way to actually get the exact colors that are in your photography onto your page. So I'm not sure if a lot of people knew about this, but it is amazing. So you can actually zoom in. And let's say this is a colorful one, but let's say I wanted to brighten my color palette. So this is what Adobe recommends from this photo as a bright version of the mood. So let's say I wanted to mute the colors. This is what Adobe recommends, which may not be exactly what I would want, but this is Adobe's. And then here's all the deep colors. From this picture, these are the colors that they are recommending. So let's say you are a wellness brand or a health brand or a yoga instructor or some kind of health brand or a health coach, you would choose a picture, upload it into this color wheel, and really just, grab the colors that really resonate. So you can even change this green or reset it, totally up to you. But then once and let's say you want to go darker, it'll choose the darkers, or if you want to go bright, it'll go back to the brights. So play around with this and really, and then once you have those colors, if you notice, there are little hex codes down here. These are the colors that you want. These are the hex codes that you will want to save and send to the person who's designing for you. So this is really all you have to do to choose those 5, I want to say 3 to 5 colors. I really think 6 is overdoing it, but sometimes you'll want like a pop of color for like a button, and that's where you get that 6th color. But I digress. So let's go back here. And what you'll want to do is you'll want to save this color theme and make sure you grab, you could do a screenshot or you could actually save it into Adobe. For me, I can save it and then I'll be able to use it as a design for someone's website. So this is probably the easiest way to do it. If you don't have access to Adobe, I do believe that Canva has this tool. So Canva, and I was playing around with this and I have to show you some of the cool things that I was looking at. So I wanted to kind of do something similar, and Canva, this is kind of what they gave me when I wrote. So what you want to do is you want to go into the Canva color wheel. You want to choose color palettes. You want to go to canva.com/colors, and then you're going to go into this Canva color palette ideas. And then you can type in the word piece. And so if I type in the word piece, these are a lot of the existing pre-built palettes that Canva recommends for that word. Now, as you can see, it's like 8 pages long. So you can go through this and kind of see like all of these palettes have the tag piece on them. And to me, it's like a lot. So I like to, you can play around with this and see if these existing color palettes that they have are something you might be interested in. I like to do my own color palette. So what I'll do, like I said, if you don't have access to the Adobe photo upload, you can do the same in Canva. So what we're going to do is the same thing. We're going to go in here, we're going to upload this piece, and let's see what they come up with. And so as you can see, it's generating these colors, and they like to actually name each color, which is kind of cool. So they've got Finch, Lola, Shady Lady, and Locust are the colors that they grabbed. But as you can see, it doesn't let me manually customize it. It's kind of like, this is what you get, and these are the 4 colors that they think were the most that came out of that image. So play around with that. If this to me is a great way to grab the colors. If you're really like, I just don't know, take a nice picture that you really think represents your brand. Maybe it's a picture of you in a beautiful outfit. Maybe it's a picture of your audience in a beautiful outfit. Whatever that is, like maybe you just go through this. And I will say, in the entire, for your business, there will be years where you will say, I do need to rebrand. I do need to relaunch a new brand palette. We see this happening all over in the market. So don't feel like it's, once it's done, but you will be living with your brand minimum a year to 2 years, 3 years. So get what you can from these tools, play around with it. Ask friends, ask your audience, ask your clients what you see in the market, and then ask them for their opinion, and maybe do some validation calls and ask them to take a look at these 2 pictures and have them, vote on it or whatever. And as you'll see, you'll be able to really build a brand that is beautiful and that speaks directly to them. So I hope this was helpful. I'm sorry if it was a little bit too long, but I wanted to definitely give you some ideas for choosing your brand colors, selecting them based on the color psychology, based on the what's in the market, whether something is trending. I kind of do stay away from those trending colors because those change, those fluctuate throughout the year, and you don't want to get caught in if your audience really likes the soft pastels and that's the emotion that you want to evoke, and then you go and do some bold colors, you're going to be upset because your audience won't resonate with those bold colors in 2 years, even though they resonated with them this year in 2023 as I record this. So like I said, try to find the colors that represent a feeling. Like I said, blue and greens are, usually the soothing colors. They're very soothing. Browns are more comforting, cozy. Think of chocolate. Think of a hot cup of cocoa. Purple represents royalty. It represents, like regal. Think of the color that kings and queens would wear in the medieval times. They would all wear purple. And then white represents pure, purity, minimalism, simplistic. Black is more elegant, sophisticated, luxurious. It has like this, beautiful black, like a beautiful, luxurious feeling. So when you're thinking about your brand, like I said, what feelings do you want to evoke from your audience, and what feelings do you want to evoke to them? So if you know that, your audience has a tendency to, yellow conveys optimism and joyfulness and playfulness and happiness. Look at the McDonald's arches, right? Orange is full of vitality. It represents, it's very good with kid brands. So if you're like a child brand, you'll want to have like an orangey, like a bright orange, say like you do see this in the marketplace. If you turn on like the kids channels, most of the logos are orange. Pink is a feminine color, romantic, think of like Barbie, very feminine. And then red, think about Coca-Cola, Target. Red is more excitement, energy. Like what happens when you go to Target? You get so energized. You're like in there for hours shopping for nonstop. So those are the color. That's the psychology of the color wheel. So colors do affect us psychologically. So make sure you read about that and get some great ideas. But like I said, you'll want to look around at some of your competitors and get some ideas of how they are representing their brand right now in the market. And I hope this was helpful to you, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. And if you like this, subscribe to this channel. I will be creating more content like this. If not, comment below and let me know what you need, and I will create something to answer your questions. Talk to you soon.